say, hey guys, it's Klaus. Welcome to another episode of The Biggest Asshole. Yeah, the storybook edition. We get to enjoy 5 stories today. 5 stories in which the main characters are all assholes in each and every one of the stories. And the first one today is And You Vlad is playing in his Swedish TD. And let's just enjoy the stories. And there is a voting button in the top right corner of the screen where you guys can vote on who you think the biggest asshole is. There can only be one lead character in one of these stories that is today's biggest asshole. And there are in fact 2 assholes in the first story here where And You Vlad has moved up into a spot to snipe the enemy at the beginning of the game here. And there's a platoon of also in Swedish TDs. They're in these STRVs. And they've decided to move into a similar spot right beside him to snipe. But they are very upset that he got there first. And our first contestant on The Biggest Asshole here, XX suddenly pushes Vlad and flips him over down the cliff. And luckily he just barely flips back, but he pushes him some more. Suddenly just pushes him all the way down. And rams him again for good measure. He's flipping him, he's pushing him. He just can't stand them. Boy! Oh, that escalated quickly. And our hero here stops, and I believe he is typing in chat. I've increased the size of the chat for he's a slow typer, so we're just going to have to wait for it. What the fuck is your problem? He asks politely in chat to his teammate. But the story continues here as And You Vlad goes back up to perch on top of this hill to take some. Now, wouldn't it be good if all 3 of these Swedish TDs could all shoot the enemies together? Why wouldn't that be better than just fighting amongst each other? Well, you know what? And You Vlad is pretty pissed off here that he got pushed. So now he's giving this guy a little bit of a butt ram. He's trying a little bit of a payback here, but he's not flipping him. He's just wedging up against his ass and rubbing up, rub-a-dub-dub. But this guy's platoon mate, I don't even know how to say his name, has come in. Oh, he's almost flipped and suddenly gives him the little side flipperoonie. And he has flipped over and is now upside down. And suddenly is typing in chat, haha. Okay, so he is going to slowly, you can see the counter going. So now there are 2 TDs that can quietly, for the remaining of this game, lose. Rather than having 3 guys here shooting the enemies. Why not just have 2 and flip one? X suddenly in your platoon mate in the STRVs. Are you today's biggest assholes? You guys get to decide. The next storybook game has been sent in by Cosmonaut from the KTTP clan. And he's driving that beautiful British assault tank, the AT-15, that highly maneuverable tank with no turret that can go about 15 kilometers an hour. And he's just trying to move into a spot where he can help his team. He's just started this game and he's moving up. He's going to try and get into the STRV is up on the hill there, so he's not going to go up there. There's a Tiger 2 on the hill. So maybe he could just poke around this corner and try and take some shots. Maybe there's someone over here he can... Oh, there's an enemy that maybe he can plink away at with his assault tank. Now, while he is shooting here, something funny happens. You look at the minimap, it's hard to see, but there's a Tiger and an STRV on the hill there. And there's 2 dots. And it's hard to know what's going on, but if you keep your eyes on the chat, which I've just increased the size of, you get a little bit of a hint of what's going on. The Tiger has moved off the hill, and everything seems to be going okay, but now there's a message that pops up from the STRV. The Tiger 2 has killed me. Report this asshole. But he's not dead yet, so what's going on? The Tiger is now pushing the AT-15, and the STRV is dead. And the Tiger is credited with the kill, so I think the Tiger pushed and flipped the STRV off that hill, and now has come to butt ram the AT-15. Well, that is weird. But the AT-15, that British assault tank, is so maneuverable and fast that he was easily able to spin away from the Tiger. And he's decided, you know what, if this guy's going to be down here and be an asshole, maybe I should just leave. But maybe I'll take one more shot here on this corner first. When you're in the highly maneuverable British assault tanks, you have the option of moving and relocating easily in the game. And it looks like the Tiger does not want him to be in that corner. Who is this Tiger? It's Antarak 23. Antarak 23, all in capital letters in the Tiger 2. He is the next contestant on The Biggest Asshole. He's already team killed someone, and now the AT-15 has decided, I'm just going to leave and go up on the hill here and get away from this Tiger. There's a dead tank flipped, dead teammate here. I guess that's how the STRV died. And I can use him as cover, but wait, the Tiger's rubbing up against my ass and wedged me in here. The Tiger's taking hits, but he won't back down. I'm wedged up. I got a dead teammate in the front and the Tiger rubbing up my ass. I can't move. I'm stuck. What is the Tiger gonna do? Tiger, let me out. Let me out of the way, Tiger. Now I am stunned. The Tiger is stunned. The Tiger is happy to wedge the AT-15 up against the guy he team killed and himself, and now is cranking on the W key to push the AT-15 and the dead teammate off the hill so they can both be flipped down into the open. Where's the dead tank? Is still up here. The AT-15 falls off, but luckily he is in a British assault tank, which is highly maneuverable. It can easily relocate in this game quickly. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to drive around and relocate and ignore this Tiger. Maybe go drive around and give the Tiger a shot up the ass. That would serve him right. Luckily, he's in this fast British tank. Oh, he's been hit. He's on fire, but he's got a fire extinguisher. Luckily, he's just going to... Oh, he's been hit. Oh, and he's dead. And it looks like the Tiger has now been credited with 2 team kills. Is he today's biggest asshole? Well, you guys get to decide. The plot in the next storybook game unfolds very quickly in this next one, sent in by JKL Jet, driving the Emil 1, who quickly moves into a position where he can be hulled down and shoot the enemies in the field here in the Paris map. And here he goes. He's going to poke up in these bushes and try and use his gun right away at the beginning of the game. And can he get a hit? Yes, his first shot is a kill. And that certainly helps the team win. Now he's spotted, so he's backed up a little bit. Seems to be a little bit crowded here in the bush. And our next contestant in the RHM, Han Biker, is going to show up at the same bush. He's a little bit slower, and he's very impatient and has typed in chat, go! He wants JKL Jet in the Emil to go! Is what he typed. He's sitting in the bush now, and he wants someone to go spot for him because, why wouldn't he want someone to go spot for him? Why would he want to spot for anyone else? Well, he is in a TD, and there is a big cluster of teammates here. And it turns out that he got shot. And Biker in the RHM has taken a hit. And that has infuriated him because he's decided that this Emil 1 should be the guy that moves up and spots. Not the light tanks, not the fast tanks. The Emil 1 is the one that should have moved up. And he's going to show his rage in chat. And he's going to give up on the rest of the game and do the best he can to troll him. Now, JKL Jet says in chat, why don't you move up? I don't want to move up. We have light tanks. Maybe they should move up. I've got an autoloader, and once I take 4 shots, I'm dead because I have to reload. I need cover. I can't just move up. But Han Biker is now relentless. He's resorted to starting to spam the map. He's picking on someone else. He's pinging the guys that are behind him. He's pissed off with the guys that are beside him. He's pissed off at the guys that are in front of him. And he's pissed off with the guys that are behind him. He's infuriated by everyone on the team. So he's decided just to concentrate on chat and being an ass rather than doing anything to help his team win. But old Emil 1 here is just going to try and do the best he can to win this game. He's still moving into positions and he's trying to shoot. And the pinging continues now. There's other people that have joined the troop. It's old Handbiker and others now that are just pinging and pinging and pinging, complaining and writing in chat. Idioti! And insulting each other and getting ridiculous, because why wouldn't they? Why would they want to try and go somewhere else to help the team? It's a close game. It's 2-3. But why try and win when you can just concentrate on pinging and raging and being a complete nuisance? Why not? Well, now he's decided to rub himself up the ass of the Emil and try and prevent him from backing down to avoid fire. Because why not? The pinging didn't work. The raging didn't work. Maybe if I try and block you from getting out of enemy fire, that'll work. Maybe if I just put my tank sideways up your ass to stop you from backing up, maybe the enemies will shoot you. And I will feel better, because then you will die. And I can lose this game knowing that you died before me. Why would I want to shoot my big gun and try and help the team when I could be much more effective sitting here behind you, waiting for you to poke up and then blocking you before you can back up? Here he goes. He's trying to block him. Oh, he's pushing him now, but unfortunately he does not have the engine power to push an Emil uphill. And the two guys now are locked in battle. Though the Borsig, the unmaneuverable German lightly armored TD, is trying to push the Emil around. And the Emil says, well, screw this, I'm leaving. Might as well just leave. Why stay here with an asshole when I can just go fight somewhere else? The game is lost now. There were too many of them just raging and pinging rather than playing. And now the game is lost. So the Emil wants to just move up and maybe get a little bit more damage before he moves into the next game. And maybe in the next game there will not be an asshole. But in this game, Handbiker in the RHM, you are the next contestant in the biggest asshole. Let's just watch the Emil here clip this next enemy. But while he's clipping him, that Borsig just does not want to give up. He's ramming him and pushing him and trying to get him into enemy line of fire. He just will not give up. He's backing up. He's going to try and flip him. If he had a tank with a little bit more horsepower, he'd be doing a better job of being an asshole. But he's in a Borsig. And the thing about a Borsig is not very powerful, but it does have a big gun. And unfortunately, old Handbiker here has decided not to use his gun. He's decided to be an asshole the whole game, and now he's dead. And so is the Emil, and so is the game. Handbiker, the RHM, are you today's biggest asshole? You guys get to decide. Our next storybook game here has been sent in by the Cardboard Warrior, driving his premium Tier 6 T3485M. That's a pretty long video today, isn't it, guys? Huh? The storybook edition. The full buildup of what's happening here. You know, it takes time for the story to unfold. And the Cardboard Warrior here is switching flanks. He's noticed that the west side of the map is falling, and he was on the east side, so now he's driving all the way across to go help the west side, because he has map awareness and he knows what's going on. And he's going to try and help his team. He's going to try and shoot these guys and help his teammates who are now outnumbered on the west side. He's going to use this rock as cover and shoot and bounce on this tank, this enemy. He's going to keep shooting this. I don't even know if he's spotted. Oh, he's critically hit him. He's tracked, so the artillery could shoot him. That is a good strategy when you're fighting enemies, is try and shoot their tracks so that you can render them motionless. And if you have artillery on your team, your artillery can shoot them as they sit there motionless. And you get tracking assist. And he does have an artillery on his team, the Bishop. And unfortunately, that guy was not tracked long enough for the Bishop to take a shot. But little does he realize at this point in the game that his artillery is not really interested in helping him or shooting the enemies that he tracks, because his artillery on his team, the Bishop, Steel Phalanx in capital letters, is the next contestant on today's biggest asshole. His artillery friend is not interested in aiming at the red people on the map. Steel Phalanx and the Bishop, the artillery on his team, is more interested in working himself up into a frenzy of rage. And while the Cardboard Warrior here shoots this Churchill over and over again and tries to kill the enemies and has this one-on-one battle with this British tank, works himself into cover and eventually takes that final shot that, yes, kills the enemy, his teammate in the artillery, rather than have helped him and tried to take a shot on the Churchill himself, who was motionless, has decided that it would be a better idea to turn around 180 degrees and shoot his own teammate and damage his gun. Did that shot really come from the bishop? The bishop, did he really turn around? Yes, he did. He is so infuriated, so filled with rage. He's done it again. He shot him twice. While our T-34-85 shot and was fighting that Churchill and fighting off those enemies that were trying to work their way to the base to actually eventually kill the bishop thought it would be a better idea to turn around, put his back towards the enemy, and shoot his own teammate, because why would he want to shoot the red tanks when he could shoot the green ones? And has he stopped? It looks like maybe he stopped. And our hero here is now going to try and fight the remaining two enemies that he knows are still on the west side. There are still two of them on the west side. Their last remaining positions are still on the map. The two red dots. And oh, someone has entered the base. Someone has entered the base, and he may have to fight this guy that's entered the base. He's going to try and take a shot on the Hellcat. Here he goes. Oh, he's missed the Hellcat. He can try and take one more shot. He has to actually save the artillery that was shooting him. He tried twice. He took two shots, but someone got him. That's good. They could still win this game, and now he's focused on those enemies to the west again. Oh, it's a tense game, and he's going to try his best with his damaged gun to try and win this. He does not want to spend the 20,000 credits to repair his gun, it seems. And he knows that if he pokes into the open there, those guys could shoot him. But the bishop is relentless. The bishop shoots him again. The bishop is furious. He is turned around again, 180 degrees, back to the enemy, and has decided it would be more fun to shoot his teammates, because he can see his teammate, and he can shoot his teammate, and he can do damage, because that's all he can do is damage his teammates, because he's completely and totally inept at trying to shoot the enemy tanks. And is he going to take another shot? Every time he gets hit, the cardboard warrior just sits still. He doesn't even want to even have anything to do with the asshole. Steel phalanx and the bishop. Do you actually have the balls to take one more shot and probably turn blue? Do you? Are you going to do it? We're going to watch the whole story unfold here, guys. It's the storybook edition. And like most stories that end with a happy ending, is this one going to end with a happy ending? No, no, he's shot him again, and he's turned blue. Because he is the next contestant on The Biggest Asshole, and now he's blue, and the cardboard warrior could finish him off with a shot, a snapshot that went right in. He didn't miss that one, I tell you that much. Steel phalanx and the bishop. Were you today's biggest asshole? You guys get to decide. That was beautiful, cardboard warrior. Well played, man, well played, but unfortunately, that's where your story ends, because there's another asshole on your team who team killed you, the other artillery. Brother Killer Audas in the M44 artillery, out of nowhere, becomes yet another contestant in The Biggest Asshole. This story is like a George Martin novel. There's assholes everywhere. There's backstabbing, there's intrigue, there's everything. This episode is like the Red Wedding. This last storybook game has been sent in by Cordier120 from the EMPI clan. Shout out to you guys. And he's in a Type 4 Heavy. And in the interest of sanity, this being the longest video I've ever made, I've sped this game up to 2 times speed so that we can witness the whole thing. Fusion Energy in the IS-6 is the next contestant. And in this story, Fusion Energy just decides to get in the way the whole game, because why wouldn't he get in the way the whole game? Why wouldn't he own a premium tank that he could use to just be in someone's way from the start of the game right to the end of the game? But Cordier120 from the EMPI clan, shout out to you guys again, has decided that, well, if there's going to be an asshole on my team that just gets in my way the whole game, well, then I'll just sit here. I'll just sit here and shoot. I'll just camp. If he can camp and get in my way, I might as well camp too. I don't really care. This is just the game. Why wouldn't I just do that? And look at this guy. Look at the IS-6. Fusion energy is not enough to just get in the way. He's put himself in front and he's putting the gun up in the guy's sights. He knows enough to point his gun at the other guy's gun just to be more of an asshole. Because he's too short. If he just parks beside him, that's not being a big enough asshole. Let's put the gun barrel in the way. Look at him. He's got the gun barrel in the way. He's a calculated, relentless, knows exactly what to do. And unfortunately, the way this story unfolds, I will increase the size of the chat for you so that you can observe for yourself that poor little Cordier 120 here in his Type 4, who is a very slow tank and would have trouble getting around this IS-6 if he really tried, has given up and decided to just camp. But the rest of his team is not taking it very well. They start getting involved in the chat and pinging and become furious. And who do they become furious at? Of course, the Type 4, the top-tier heavy tank that's camped at the back, you know, and not done anything to help the team. They start raging at him. Why don't you sell your tank? You're horrible. We should report you. And he's pleading with them, no, it's the IS-6 who's trolling me, it wasn't me, and he's dead. And as is the case in a lot of these stories, it is the asshole that survives right to the end, and it is Fusion Energy who survives, and is the last contestant on the biggest asshole today. Was he the biggest asshole? You guys get to decide. And you know what, guys? I cannot recap all 5 of them for you. You got to witness 5, sometimes multiple assholes in one game or another. And you guys get to choose which one. Who was today's biggest asshole? There can only be one. Use the voting button in the top right corner of the screen and cast your vote. This is a long one today, and if you stuck it out to the end and you're not subscribed yet, then hit the subscribe button before you vote. For Christ's sakes! You know how much work this is? You think I do this for free? Well, I do have fun doing it, so. The Storybook Edition comes to an end. My longest video ever. Hoo-ah!